Okay, in this video, we're going to explore several key landmarks. First up, we'll define what critical thinking actually is. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? Then we'll break down the essential skills that make up critical thinking: observation, interpretation, evaluation, and inference. We'll also delve into why sharpening these skills is crucial not just for acing your exams, but for navigating life itself. Finally, we're going to wrap up things by learning how to apply these skills in decision making processes. So let's begin. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with some essential and powerful tools. You will be able to confidently define what critical thinking is and identify the core skills that every critical thinker needs. But we're not stopping at theory. You're also going to learn how to apply these skills in real world decision making. Imagine being able to face complex situations or arguments and cut through the noise with precision and clarity. That's where we're heading. So stay focused and try not to lose track. What is critical thinking? Let's talk about critical thinking. It's like being a detective in your own life. Critical thinking is the ability to actively and skillfully analyze, evaluate, and construct thought based on evidence and reasoning. It's not about thinking more or thinking harder. It's about thinking better. Engaging in critical thinking means you don't just accept all information at face value. You question it, you evaluate it using evidence, and you make connections using your own existing knowledge. It's about diving below the surface of simple observations and engaging in a deeper level of thought and understanding. Introduction to these critical thinking skills. So, what are the tools for a critical thinker? Think of them as your intellectual utility belt: observation, interpretation, evaluation, and inference. These are the core skills that you'll need on your quest. Observation is about seeing things as they really are. Interpretation involves understanding and finding meaning in what we observe. Evaluation is about judging the credibility and worth of information. And finally, inference allows us to draw conclusions based on reasoning and evidence. Mastering these fundamental skills will turn you into a more effective thinker and learner. Let's zoom in on observation first. Observation is the foundation of critical thinking. It's all about paying close attention to the world around you with a keen eye. But it's not just seeing, it's about actively noticing details, patterns, behaviors, and anomalies. Imagine you're Sherlock Holmes, and the world is your crime scene. Observation is your first step in piecing the puzzle together. So, how do you become a master observer? It all starts with mindfulness, being present and fully engaged in the moment. Try exercises like mindful walking, where you focus on the sights, sounds, and smells around you. Or practice active listening in conversations, paying attention to not just the words, but the tone and body language. The more you practice, the sharper your observational skills will become, preparing you for deeper critical thinking. Next up, interpretation. It's one thing to observe information or data, but interpreting it is where your brain starts to connect the dots. Interpretation is about understanding the significance of your observations. It's like reading between the lines of a book, looking for the deeper meaning behind the words. Every piece of information tells a story, and interpretation is how you uncover it. It isn't just about taking a wild guess about applying your knowledge and understanding to read deeper into what you're seeing. It's about asking, what's the story here? Why does this matter? When you interpret, you're adding layers to your understanding, setting up the stage for even more critical analysis. Enhancing your interpretation skills can be both fun and rewarding. Engage with a variety of stories and narratives, dive into novels, documentaries, and even different cultural tales. After each one, take a moment to reflect down what deeper meanings of themes you've uncovered. Discussing these with like a friend can also offer new insights or interpretations you might not have considered. Another effective method can also be teaching or explaining a concept to someone else. This will not only test your understanding, but it will challenge you to interpret the information in a way that's clear and meaningful to your audience. Moving on, let's talk about evaluation. This is where your critical thinking skills start to really flex their muscles. Evaluation is about assessing the credibility, relevance, and the value of information you've observed and interpreted. Think of yourself as a judge in a talent show. You've seen the performance, this is the observation. You've understood the idea behind them, this is the interpretation. And now, you have to decide who deserves to move forward. This is the evaluation. It's about asking, is this information reliable? Is it biased? What is its source? How does it fit with what I already know? Evaluation is your tool for not just understanding the world, but making forward judgments about it. Improving evaluation skills. How do you get better at evaluation? Start by differentiating your sources of information. Don't just stick to one news outlet or one author. Expose yourself to different perspectives. Practice identifying assumptions and biases, both in the information you consume and your own thinking. Ask yourself, why do I think this is true? What evidence supports this conclusion? Another great strategy is to discussing and debating topics with friends or classmates. This exposes you to alternative viewpoints and forces you to defend your evaluation, overall sharpening your ability to judge information effectively. I really appreciate your patience if you've made it this far into the video. Now let's wrap up the presentation by addressing the crucial finale. Understanding the importance of critical thinking. We've journeyed through the landscape of critical thinking, from understanding what it is to developing the skills that underline it, such as observation, interpretation, and evaluation. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on why all this matters so much. Why is critical thinking a skill that's not just nice to have, but essential? Think of critical thinking as your mental army knife in the journey of life. It equips you with the tools to analyze and evaluate information effectively, which is more important than ever in our age of information overload. With these skills, you can sift through all the noise and differentiate between what is a fact and what is an opinion. But it's not just about being better at processing information. Critical thinking boosts your confidence in making decisions because you already know what you've considered using various angles and evidence. It empowers you to navigate complex situations with a much clearer understanding and less amount of bias. This makes you a more informed and responsible citizen, student, and a human being. Adapting to change and facing uncertainties becomes less difficult when you're a critical thinker. You learn to expect the unexpected, to question the status, and to be open to any new idea or solution. This adaptability is invaluable in both personal growth and career development. Ultimately, critical thinking enriches our life. It enhances your ability to learn from experiences, to engage in meaningful conversations, and to contribute positively to your society. It's a tool that sharpens your mind, but also in many ways your heart also, as it fosters empathy, understanding, and open-mindedness. So, as we conclude this video, remember that developing your critical thinking skills is a lifelong adventure. It's about being curious, asking questions, and never settling for easy answers. It's a commitment to understanding the world more fully, making better decisions, and living life more thoughtfully. Embrace it, practice it, and watch how it transforms your approach to challenges and opportunities in life.